about yourself?
Very good, thank you. Very good. Another fast week that's just cruised by us as ever.
Another Monday is here.
Another Monday. Happy Monday. First of all, cheers. Let's not forget our manners. What have we got? What is that one? IPA?
Yeah. It's a cool can. Look at that.
It's a cool can. Where did it come from?
Guess.
Harrods.
Other end.
Ooh. Is it another Audi special?
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
First time I've ever tried it.
There we go. I like this. We should just change this to alcohol reviews because it would actually give us something new to talk about each week, which we're definitely struggling with right now.
Let's do it. Ready? Smells hoppy.
Okay.
Which you'd expect from an IPA. It's called William Brother Belgian style IPA. What percentage are we at?
Does it smell like slightly wee, dirty bar stool? Because that's normally what I would associate with a real ale for real men.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's 5.7%.
Nice.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
It's not bad. It's definitely got that IPA like back of the throat kind of that thing. It's very red in color, like very.
It'd be like my skin color if we carry on.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I think you'd have to drink a few of them to kind of get into it.
And how many did you buy? Did you buy one or a pack of them? Or
one?
So we're not going to be able to finish the review off.
No. Well, we can just for one canners. Can for one can. One.
Are there many people that drink IPA that are one canners?
Not really. Have you ever seen the interview with Juan Montoya when the Aussie guy was just saying one all the time?
No, I haven't.
It's like, Juan, what would one do, Juan, in Formula One, if you qualified one?
And how did Montoya take that? Because he sometimes had a good sense of humour and sometimes he seemed to have a complete failure.
He definitely had both. Like he started off like, this is kind of funny, and then he's got bored of it and he said, no comment. It's like, great. Wicked.
So that's the alcohol reviews done and out of the way. Other than that, how was your week?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Again, not a massive amount we could do, obviously.
No.
Weather's been pretty cold, hasn't it, as well? But yeah, just trying to stay. Yeah, trying to stay relevant and stay alive.
Good.
What about you?
Good. Oh yeah, much the same really. I've been fairly busy doing stuff that doesn't seem to amount to very much, which is a bit weird. And then before you know it, the weekend's finished. Another week's done, and yeah, lockdown 2021 continues. It's
quite frustrating sometimes how you can sit in front of like a computer screen and work on stuff, like Facebook stuff or whatever, and you look down, half the day's already gone, and you feel like you've done very little.
It does take a lot of time. All that stuff.
Yeah, and like if you want to do it right, you're messing about with it, and all that time and messing about is not.
Yeah.
It's just what is it? It's kind of. It's not like you're building something where you have something at the end. You're just like, there's a post.
Exactly. So hopefully we're live. I think we are because I can see some comments coming in. So lovely audience, we need you to ask us some questions this week. We're definitely in need of help. We have a few lined up from our glorious internal team. But yeah, start racking your brains, any questions that you might have. And on that note, shall we send it out to Leroy for a hello to the people that we've got online?
Send it right, here we go. There was a few guys online already while I was just looking. Simon Lee, he says, good evening.
You were just cooking?
Looking. I was waiting for you to add me in. I was just watching.
I see.
I was just cooking, though.
What did you cook?
So I made pork mince chili with couscous.
Oh, Lord.
It's very nice. And then we had pancakes for dessert.
And you did all the cooking?
I didn't. Yeah, of course. Always.
Look at that. What a hero.
What a hero. I had a sneaky Starbucks earlier as well. I haven't had a Starbucks in a long, long time. I just felt like I needed a coffee. And I had a nut latte.
Was it good?
I'm impressed.
Nice.
Very good.
Right.
Okay, anyway. Robert Glenn. Good evening, fellas. Hope all is well. Evening, Robert. Sarah Campbell's online. Of course, Sarah and Craig. Evening, you two. Craig Homer is online. He says, evening, chaps. Just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone at Nemo. It means a lot, and I do my best to help push the brand forward in 2021. I can't wait to get to the track now. Virtual hugs.
Thank you, buddy. And you're very welcome. And thank you for the support.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Christian Roach. I guess that's how you say your surname, Christian. I hope you. I do apologise if it's wrong. I know you're Swiss and lovely guy and all that stuff, but I'm assuming that's how you say your surname. I hope everyone had a good start to a new week. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Everyone's kind of still just desperate to go outside and race, aren't they? But
yes,
there we go. Matthew Bentley, evening, guys and girls. Who's running the show? Neither one of us. You guys are running our show.
Exactly.
Kev is online. He says, good evening, chaps, from Kev, Claire, and Elise. Kev went cycling again at the weekend.
That's it. That's good. That's good. No fall offs or bits broken or any of those other things.
He might have fell off. It was a cryptic Facebook post I saw that he said the red run caught him out. That's like a red run's, the faster downhill stuff or more.
Perhaps it was the red rum caught him out.
Maybe. That's Manny, though, isn't it?
It is. That is Manny.
James Moore says, good evening, all. Good evening, James. Linda Hammer is online. Of course, this is evening, all, from Plymouth RC.
Good to see. Good to see.
Yep. Good to see Plymouth RC by the sea. One.
Looking forward to getting back down there again soon.
I'm looking forward to going there once.
Yeah, you haven't done that bit yet, have you?
No.
It's very fun little track.
Winston is online. Hey up, lads.
So if we need any IPA help, I think Winston's probably the man that would be able to steer you into what not to drink, I would have thought.
Winston used to have black hair until he drank enough of it. It turned it orange.
Blimey. That's what you're going to get in that orange can.
I've already got it. Here we go. Moving on. And Bonar lizarditis. Lizarditis?
I thought that's what your wife sometimes got.
Yeah, lizarditis. That's what I get, lizarditis. Lyndon Hammer says, hope you're all well and safe, of course, and we hope you and Jane are too. Martin Waters says, good evening. Luke Hobson, good evening. Scott Follington says, good evening. Manny Panasar says, greeting bearded bros.
Yes.
So, arr.
Arr.
The Peter Gray, hello chaps, hello Peter. On-road podcast says, oh sweet Jesus, more alcohol reviews.
Well, at Nemo, says, you're either going to get one or two things. It's going to be RC related or it's going to be alcohol related, and we're short on RC stuff right now, sadly.
Or somewhat sexually related.
That's a different channel.
It's not though, is it? We both know it's not. The innuendos are rife.
Yeah, indeed.
Mr. Wright is online. He says, good evening, guys, with a thumbs up. Evening, Graham. Andy B, vodka Coke night tonight for him. Enjoy your vodka Coke. Olivier is online from France. The streaming is better than the other times. That's good.
Nice, good. That's what we'd like to hear.
Matthew Stenhouse online says, good evening. Good evening to you and the family. Brian Barrow is online. Matthew Bentley says, Brewdog are doing a lockdown pack. That sounds good. Brewdog always gives me a massive headache, though.
That's good.
It always skips down when I try and go down. It goes to like the bottom. Where are we? There we go. Yayan online. It says, evening, guys. It's late again. Disappointing. Sarah Campbell, gin and lemonade for me and dark fruit strong box for Craig. I guess that might be strong bow.
Strong bow could lead to a strong box.
Oh, are you all right there? You text in?
Yes. You.
Arvinda is online. It says, evening, guys. Jonesy Cram is on there.
Hey.
Jonesy Cram and the fam.
How's the Truggy building going?
It's finished.
Is it finished?
Nice. Done. He's just waiting for an engine to put in it now.
Nice. Good. That's good.
Andy B, evening, guys. Hope you're both well. And you, mate. Barney, is that a camera bag on John's shoulder?
Yes.
Yeah, he carries it around with him everywhere. Paparazzi John, we call him now.
My lunchbox.
Dave Blakely says, hi, gents. I like the style and fit of the FT body shell.
Nice.
It's good news.
Yep.
Olivia
says, you run it, John, you're going to love it even more then.
Exactly. Olivia says, John, how's your new car?
Well, it's very good. Wonderful.
Nobby says, evening, chaps. Evening, Nobby. Matthew Bentley again. Can you go through the car setting on a car, what they do best dry and wet setups. I mean, we can talk about some of that later for sure.
Yep.
Mr. Warburton is online. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir.
That's good.
Jamie Army is online. He says, hi, guys. Kong McKenzie is back. Kong is 3 weeks in a row now.
I like it. Kong, good to see you again.
Good lad. Andy B, change servo speed, expo tracks. Oh, okay, it's a question. He says, change servo speed or expo for tracks, smooth circuit of open or tight bends, which is better given the speed and strength of servo nowadays. We'll talk about that in a bit, sure. Kong McKenzie, listening while in Asda.
Nice.
Yep. Robert Glenn, loving the Tune It post on Facebook.
Good.
Thanks, sir. Sean Berryman is online. He says, evening, chaps. Sean has been busy exercising during lockdown and losing weight.
Very good. Well done, mate. Well done.
Yep. Sarah Campbell, question, how much difference does a high wing mount make to a low wing mount? And is it also dependent on the type of wing you use?
Yes, and a good question. And shall we come back to those ones shortly?
We shall.
You're remembering these ones up?
Yes.
Good.
Nobby says one is on rum and coke as usual, so he's on rum and coke. Gary Kirkwood says, evening chaps. Winston Barnett says, currently drinking a Faces Brewery chocolate and cherry stout. Nom nom nom. Phil Truman said, Bailey's coffee evening, people.
Oh, nice. Good to see you online and with a sherbet in your hand, mate.
Yeah, he's getting into the old Nemo ways. Mr. Burrows said, Buckham Gorham is the beer you need. Come.
Good Lord. That's definitely the beer that Leroy needs.
I'm
going to steer clear of that one.
Olivia says, thanks, Lee, for your setup tips. No problem, anytime, and it will be very regular. And I'm at the bottom now with Craig Homer saying Lipton Peach Tea.
Nice. With regards to the setup tips as well, it is our intention when we can get out on the track that we're gonna video those tips too, so we can try and show you via video what we're saying, aren't we, Leroy?
Yes, sir.
Good. We think, but we need a track not covered in snow to be able to do that. But that's definitely on the list to do.
Yep.
Along with some other video releases that are going to be coming up soon, with a bit of luck and a following wind. So that was our shout outs done. That's good. Very nice to see everybody online. Get those questions coming in for us, because we are very short of content. We're going to throw in our man, Mr. Rumble, to help pack us out a bit later on, which will be good. In the meantime, what do we normally do now? We normally do a closet feature. Have you got something left in your closet that we've not seen?
So, closet feature this week. I did have a bit of time this week. I didn't use it though.
Fantastic.
And I literally have a closet feature. Like, I'm going to open the closet and it's in there. It's been in there for 3 years now, I think. And I saw it the other day and I thought, it's literally in the closet behind me. And I've never opened this door.
Yeah, come on then, let's have a live reveal of what we're going to talk about for a few minutes this week.
Yeah. As we know, we are getting thin on the ground with closet features until I get more stock in.
To be fair, you've had an unbelievable amount of good, cool stuff. So we'll let you off that you're getting a bit low on the feature. Well, and we might have to jog it on soon and come up with a different feature.
I think this one's very cool.
Okay.
If it's what I think it is. I only literally briefly looked at it the other day, and then I've just reminded me of it tonight. Not many people have got one of these.
What, a closet or?
It's a bit on. It's a bit the same as last week.
What's in the pink file? That's what I want to know.
Banking stuff.
Oh, we don't want that.
Actually, I don't know what is in this one. I don't know. Photos. This one. Oh, it's actually quite nice. Oh, this one's a bit too nice to show, John, I'm afraid.
Lovely. Good.
It's memories of people that are not here anymore.
Oh, nice. Leave that one safe then, mate.
Right. So.
Whoa. What was that doing in your closet?
I think it lives there.
I'm sure there's a video of you doing a similar pumping action to that I've seen with that trophy. Yeah.
It's outside Waitrose.
Yes, exactly.
There it is. That is. If anyone can cut. Oh, I don't want to snap the top off it. Oh my god, this backwards video always drives me mad.
I think it says third.
It does. Third, IFMA Worlds 2017.
Very nice. Does that feel like 3 years or 4 years ago coming up? Or does it feel like it was very recent?
it feels, it's weird. It does feel like a while ago, you know, but
It is quite recent, really, when you think about it. It's not that long ago.
I mean, since then we've had the World of Slovakia, but I didn't do that well there because I don't know, just didn't do that well there. It was always going to be hard to go to someone else's track, isn't it, and do well. Yeah. But yeah, this was from China. Obviously, no one had really been to China, so it's kind of mutual track.
That's a pretty cool trophy, that, mate. It's not going to get much better. Only 2 places better. That's pretty cool. 2
places, and it's one of them where I should have TQ'd that Worlds. I actually had a bad practice because it was like 3 consecutive laps. I didn't string any together. I strung like 2 together with a crash. I would have seeded like 4th in practice, but in the end I was like 14th. So I was in the B qualifier, and then I had some solid runs. I think I started with a 5th, and then I got a second, a first, and I know it went into the last qualifier, and Mayfield was the only one that could beat me for TQ.
That's cool.
And he had to TQ the round. And Dakota Fend was leading the whole qualifier with like a 2-second gap until the last jump on the straight to finish.
Oh my God.
And he crashed. And then I couldn't beat Ryan's time. The next one, I crashed during the run and still missed it by like under a second. So I was fast. And then the finals, I mean, they obviously went okay, but they didn't go completely to plan, unfortunately. But still another good thing to have in your closet there.
Yeah, definitely mega impressive. Yeah. I think touching on that, just going back a little bit, that's my one thing I personally don't like about 10th scale is it's so concentrated on how you qualify, and you only got to have a couple of little missteps for whatever reason, and you're starting 7th or 8th or 9th in an A final if you've got talent like yourself, and it's such a hard ask to pull it back through from there, isn't it? On those 5-minute runs, that's the biggest thing I don't like. Which just is what it is. It's the game, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, you could say that about a lot of motorsports, really.
I guess so. Like maybe more of the extreme motorsports, but I think anything that's more traditional in terms of motorsport, you have a race that's a period of time long, don't you? And I think it helps just 8th scale, you get in that rhythm, don't you, to be able to claw it back. I've seen you do that loads of times in 8th scale. It's a class suited to you for that because you can.
Because I normally have to.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've said this before, and then before you know it, you're like, how the hell did Leroy end up leading this? Because after the first 3 minutes, he was
last.
Yeah. Whereas in 10th, you're always nearly at the front of the 10th, so I suppose it doesn't matter. But if you are in that mid pack, it's bloody hard to bust it forward and pull a trophy out of it. That's what I see.
It is, especially more on high bite stuff. They're very touring car-y, and you do need to qualify well. But yeah, I mean, I still qualified 2nd at this Worlds.
Very good.
Which was very good.
Where is the next Worlds for 10th?
The next one is it's America. I heard on the grapevine that it was going to be at Chico A-Mains track. Okay.
And is that this year or next year?
I mean, it was meant to be this year. I don't know what's happening there.
Right. Okay.
We will see. But yeah, that was a cool one. I didn't actually get to take this trophy home for a long time. It went to Yokomo, and it sat in their shop and office for quite a while because obviously Ryan won. And I was 3rd, and they don't often have 2 people on the podium, especially. So it went and sat there for quite a long time. So.
Yeah, very impressive. Nice to have it home anyway.
Yeah. It's the first time I've looked at it for a while.
Put it back in the closet. We'll have another look in a couple of years' time or a couple of weeks.
Exactly. It'll be next week when I forget about
it. Well, that's the benefit of getting old is everything seems new again after a while, which is quite exciting. Oh, look at that, some new thing.
Yeah, the actual car's up there as well. But I think we've shown that.
We did the car. Even my bad memory can remember that we saw the car because that's also a cool thing to have. A 3rd at a Worlds is very difficult at anything, isn't it? If you get to a point of doing World Championships and stuff, to have those sort of results is pretty mega.
Next week, I'll get the Tamiya from 2nd place out because I'm sure a lot of people want to see that one.
What is that? Tamiya, is it a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive?
A 2-wheel drive, 2nd in 2013 at Chico, where they're meant to have it this year.
Right. Okay. And was that? Because I remember that was very high traction. Was that track?
Yeah, I mean it was kind of the year where Sugar Track started making
that's what I've got a vague memory of.
And then like everyone was kind of rushing to bring out mid motors and prototypes and all that stuff, copying us really because we'd already started doing it. So it was high bite. It was an awesome track though. Such fun to drive.
It's such a shame that Tamiya are not at the, competing, because although it's always been something that's been a competition, like on our side, on a business side, from our perspective, it's just cool to have that brand that most people dip into the hobby in, actively racing as well. Hopefully they'll come back and do something. They tend to be a bit cyclical with it, don't they? Whether they're going to race or not.
Well, it all depends on the president.
Yeah.
Because as you know, you can't be a president in Japan for too long of a term.
Yeah.
So depending on who's the president at the time is how involved they get in racing. And the president currently now obviously is not that keen on racing.
No. But it would be cool to see it again.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be awesome. Mr. S. Tamiya, he was the one that loved racing.
Was it? Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. It always helps to have someone passionate, because the thing is, for those guys, the racing element is tiny, isn't it, in comparison to your ready to run bashing market. So
I remember when I went to the Tamiya factory, but buildings, it was so awesome to see, because it was like, it gave you an idea of how big they were.
Yeah.
Pulled up to this insane building that was like glass fronted with koi carp out the front, Formula One cars in the lobby. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that was cool. One of 5 buildings, and it was like huge.
Madness.
Yep.
Getting in the beginning, as they say, and build it and see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, well, they had a woodwork factory, didn't they? That's where it started.
Is that right? Wow.
The Tamiya was a woodwork factory, and in the corner of this factory, a small team made toys out of wood.
Incredible.
Now look at it. Completely changed.
And now look at it. Everything has a beginning, as they say.
Yes.
Good. Well, that was a good closet feature. I've asked Mr. Rumble if he's got a closet feature. I don't know whether he has or not, so we'll have a little surprise on that when we bring him in a little bit later on.
As long as it's not something going to UPS.
Was actually, someone had asked for what's in your glove box feature, but I don't think Mr. Rumble is in his car tonight. Dogging is off the equation. It's a bit icy outside for bits hanging out, I guess. So we're indoor. We're indoor and safe tonight. Did we have any questions coming on the side before we throw off to something else?
Let's have a look. So there's not a massive amount coming. Any plans for an Agaba temp scale cast? Says Jamie Army. No, not
an Agama one.
Craig Homer says new feature. Where's Rumble dogging this week?
Yes, there we go. He's having a week off this week, Craig. He'll be back, no doubt, to a park near you next week.
Sean Berryman says Lee needs to go to Lee's special place. Lots of goodies in there. That's where I'll have to go to get this Tamiya, my special place.
Good.
Craig Homer, I want to know what's in the wicker baskets. Unfortunately, it's not very fun. It's like not like, I don't know, stationery and stuff like that. Nothing fun.
Not fun stuff, no.
China Worlds, yeah, that was right, Jan. China World, I mean, that was a weird event, China Worlds. Yeah, I've never been somewhere where the hotel had that much bleach in it. Your eyeballs melted when you had a pee.
Ow.
But the hotel was lovely.
Wow.
It was mad. Like the rooms and stuff were awesome, but like some things just didn't fit properly. Like you get in the shower and it's all nice, beautiful glass and marble, and then it would piss all over the bathroom floor. Stuff like that. But it was fun, and everyone stayed in the same hotel.
Yeah, like we said before.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Chaps, have you thought of a Nemo branded engine heater running on 4 cell?
Once upon a time, we were going to do a Bullet branded engine heater. I think we got a fair way down the line of doing that. I think we might have even had samples and stuff, but we didn't do it for whatever reason. I think predominantly because it's one of those markets that's quite well covered by IB Pro Start, I think, from memory, is a good chap as well. And yeah, I think it's a limited market. Once you've got one, they last forever in a country day. So we didn't end up doing it, I think, but we did look at it at one point for sure. Rumble might remember better than me.
Yeah, IB did some for me. I had some LMR ones back in the day.
Yeah, good. He's a good chap, good product. So yeah, it's a limited market, I think.
Yeah. Johnny Roberts online. He said hi.
Johnny boy.
Andy B, you guys have been racing a long time and probably been through a lot of RC bodies. Have you had the same color scheme since day one? And how or why have they changed? And why the colors you run?
It's a very good question with multiple bits to it. From my side, I've had a few different schemes, but I had one predominant theme, I suppose, that was used in the time when I was, really actively racing and trying to do it for a living, I guess. How I stumbled across those colours, I don't really know. It was sort of carbon black, a nice electric blue and orange, very similar to Lee's colours, just the other way round. Mine goes black to light, and yours goes light to black, does it? I can't think what yours does now.
Well, it used to be like white, blue, and then orange.
Okay, but there's a darker colour coming in there.
Now it's like white, a little bit of blue, grey, then orange.
Yeah, so similar colours. I always loved orange as a colour. I think it's quite a happy colour, which I like. I like to try and be happy. And yeah, there must have been an inspiration along the way, but I can't massively remember what it was. I took a decision last year, I think it was, to stop using those colours because, I don't know, it seemed an insult to the colours as I run around at the back of the field rather than trying to be somewhere near the front. So I stopped using them. Had a bit of a midlife crisis. We tried to go to a corporate scheme for me, so red and black out of Nemo, which looked cool. And then we're currently just having a new version of that, which is similar to that style, but going back to the original colours of a bit of orange and some carbon and some blue, which is being done at the minute. Getting ready for some box artwork for something. So yeah, that's my colours. They've predominantly been the same. I haven't changed around much. I think keeping them very similar is quite helpful when you are, trying to compete with the same people week in, week out. They know if you get a good reputation like mine or Johnny's, you can intimidate people by being behind them because they think, God, this lunatic's going to probably ram me off the track. If you change your colours, they don't realise it's you, and perhaps they don't get quite so scared. So there can be a bit of a psychological advantage or disadvantage on your colours. Leroy?
Yeah, I mean, my first proper body shells were blue. They were white, yellow, then blue.
Okay.
Then I just went through a phase where I didn't really have a body when I was younger. And then I eventually just decided that I wanted an orange body. A lot of people who used to win back then had red bodies, but I didn't really like red. So I wanted to be a bit different. My favorite color was always orange. So I just went orange. The stuff that went with it always changed over the years. Like initially it was like a purple and orange and white. And then it went to more kind of like the colors it has been known for, which was white, blue, and then orange, but it was like drips rather than like the spikes and the stuff I have now. And then eventually kind of moved on to the white, blue, and orange that stayed for years and years and years. And then only last year I switched it up a little bit and had some grey in the middle.
I think
your show's grey.
Your shows always look cool, I think, and especially the current Truggy one. I really like that. Sitting on the shelf waiting to run on the track, but I think that looks really cool with it on the truck, your colours.
Yeah, the truck's awesome. That's an original one too. It's got no grey in it, has it? It's blue.
No, that's true. Yeah, it does look good. I've actually just remembered where mine came from. I think it was Tommy Chung. He'd done a design which was different colours, but I liked the patterns of it, and we were teammates at Kyosho, I think, at the time, and he offered to spray my shells for a little while. So I said, well, let's keep this, when you're a bit sad and you think, well, we'll have matching teammate body shells. And I kept a similar scheme, but just went with the colours that I liked, which was the orange, black, and the blue. And so I think that's how it started, because I think he sprayed my shells for the Kyosho car that I showed you the other day.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah, just remembered. It's good when things come back to you when you're old. It feels like a little mini win.
Yeah.
There's a chance of hope at the end of it. I can remember.
Yeah, so that's that one. Marcus Butler's online. Hello, mate. Robert Glenn loves 45-minute A-mains. Kev says Mark is stepping out of his closet. Simon Lee says thoughts on other companies making hop-ups for your brand.
I always think that that's a great sign. The reason I think that's a great sign is I think it shows that you've made your brand big enough for somebody else to recognise that it's worth doing an optional part for it. It might sound a bit backwards. I hope that made sense. So I always think that's a good sign. You like when Bitchy Designs maybe have done a body shell for an Agama or optional parts from Agama. I welcome that. I think it's good. I think it's good for customers to have a choice of some bits as well. I can remember being on the other side of it and loving to put hop-up parts on my cars when I wasn't sponsored and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's a good sign. It shows that you're actually in the market and active, because they don't tend to do parts for cars that don't sell very well.
Agreed. And some people make some really cool stuff.
And some people make some really cool stuff. Yeah, they're focused. That's their own, their only market that they're looking at doing accessories and stuff. So they come up with some really cool ideas that, we don't.
Yeah. Ian Payne says, and the duck leg for dinner.
Okay.
I'm not sure either. I'm sure there was something else that I've missed.
Yeah, we missed the first bit of that somewhere, no doubt.
Live N5RC, good to see you back. He says, I just realised what the time was. Good evening. There you go, evening.
Good evening.
You should press the little bell icon,
yes,
and then it will notify you when we're going live.
Exactly.
We
should just clarify that actually for our viewers, watching abroad and stuff. When we start off with a cheers and a drink, we actually aren't alcoholics at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning having a sharp whiskey. Not this week anyway. Next week that one is. It is because it's evening here when we're both local.
Yeah, we always wait until at least 11 a.m. before we start.
Yes.
Matthew Bentley says, what about RC and Babes magazine?
RC and what?
Babes magazine.
That's a long time since I've heard of a Babes magazine. I don't know whether they still are they still a thing.
I don't know.
I think that they possibly go together in some people's wildest dreams, but apart from that, possibly not that often.
There was a there was a guy that used to race RC back in 2011-ish, who was like a photographer for lots of raunchy things, and he actually did a photo shoot with Cody King's car when they had like all the girls there looking.
We actually did one as Nemo as well when we won the Euros B with. Oh God, that's bad. I can't remember his name. There was a French photo shoot done with a model at the time. So yeah, I guess it has existed.
Who won the Euros B, John?
Jonathan Baccaro. There we go. I knew it'd be there. He's a very nice kid. His dad's even cooler. He used to be part of the New Le Mans track with the Sartels, and just he used to be their race director and stuff. Super cool guy, really nice. But his son stopped racing, sadly. He kind of won. I think he was probably lined up to be one of the next French superstars, and then just lost interest in racing and stopped. He did win a Euros B, which was pretty impressive.
Yep, I won the first ever Euros B.
Of course you did.
Robert Glenn says, will the beta bags be available to USA again? Loving the Truggy first race with it on the 27th.
Nice, awesome. Well, good luck firstly with that for that race, and definitely the beta bags will be back in. They will be on your order that's just left to Billy. So yeah, get Billy hooked up.
Craig Homer says, I like to run colours from Crash Helmet Designs of my favourite racing drivers. Normally run the Senna colours, but this year, as a show of support, I'm running the colours of Alex Zanardi. He's one inspirational guy.
I think that's a very cool idea, and I've definitely looked to Helmet Designs. That sounds wrong, doesn't it? Helmet Designs as well, for colour ideas back in the day before I'd settled on what I'd got. And yeah, absolutely, Alex Zanardi, what a hero, man, what an everything. And let's hope he gets back into some shape as well again.
Yeah, and he has just reminded me that one of my orange obsessions did come from my helmet I had as a 16-year-old kid.
Okay,
that's cool. Orange and yellow and stars and stuff on it. So
I think mine came from the Repsol. Might have been the Repsol Hondas. I'm sure Craig would know from the MotoGP bikes. I seem to remember they had an orange and black and blue styled colour scheme for quite a long time.
There you go. See, he knows more than we do about our own lives and bodies.
And I've tried to have like a Rothmans Williams F1 car before, and a McLaren West McLaren one, and yeah, a few dodgy choices.
I remember the chrome McLarens. A few people tried that. It does not work with an RC car.
No, it looked absolutely horrific. I was so excited to get it, and it looked absolutely rubbish.
Can you remember when Lewis and Nick did it with their?
I don't remember. No, I don't.
Dreadful.
Audi Sport as well. Audi Sport. I tried to use the Audi Sport rally colours into a body show. That looked quite cool, but not sort of anything super smashing, so it didn't stay.
No. It equally works the other way around. If you put an RC body on a real car, it looks toss as well.
Yeah.
Nobby says he's carrying on the white, blue, and orange scheme for me. #1 fan.
Look at that. Get in line, Nobby, get in line. There's a long line of number one fans for Mr. Martin.
Andy B, with Rumble not dogging tonight, I feel my investigations have been wasted, but I'm putting him out there anyway for everyone's benefit.
It would be for anyone's benefit if they were lucky enough to have Mr. Rumble turn up at their site.
Yayan says that was referring to you talking about weird China worlds. Maybe. Duck leg.
The duck leg. Duck leg for dinner. You must have had a duck leg for dinner. You've got to remember what you said before now. This is where you're getting old age, you see.
Maybe. God knows. I can't remember. Live M5RC, did either of you guys see my wire cover button mount I posted on the Gamma page? I think I did. For the e-buggy. It was like a little mount that went over. You could put a switch.
Okay, I didn't see that. I'd be happy and interested to see it.
Mike Hunt says, who do you think will win DNC? Me.
Well, it won't be us because we're not going as a team in terms of Nemo USA. We're not going. I think the conversation Billy had with Brock and Brandon and various others. There's a big race a couple of weeks after at Thornhill that they're going to put their efforts into. Having said that, where is it this year? The DNC.
We discussed this last week, didn't we? It's Thunder Alley.
That's it, Thunder Alley. Yeah. Who's going to win at Thunder Alley? Ooh. I don't even know who's going, but I'll pick Mayfield because I'm sure he'd win if he's there and he doesn't break down.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the Americans, I'm guessing. I saw Spencer and Cavallari were practicing this weekend.
Right.
You know, they race at Thunder Alley all the time, so it'll be between Spencer, Cav, Mayfield.
It's so hard, that race. It's so hard. It's exciting, and you get caught up in the thought of it to go and do it, but from our experience and of doing it previous years, whether it be with Ryan or Darren or whatever else, it's just a huge ask. It's a massive race. I don't know what their entries will be this year. It'll be interesting to see, I suppose. Certainly, I kind of tuned out a little bit the year where they had nearly 1,000 entries, and I think Darren got 1 5-minute practice, and then you're into quali, and you're not over there doing the warm-ups and all that sort of stuff. It's just so hard, that race, but still a cool spectacle and everything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Difficult one, that one. Very, very difficult. But I'm going to pick Mayfield. Let's see who was right or wrong. When is it? Is it this coming weekend?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Who's going to win? You've got to pick somebody now.
I mean, yeah, I'd normally pick Ryan, but as you've taken him, I'll take Spencer.
Who's going to be the loser?
Oh. Who's going to be the loser? Ty. Don't know why. Just probably because he hasn't been able to travel. Oh, no, he's been down in Cali for ages. No, not Ty. I was thinking he'll be snowed in, but he's been in California for quite a while now. I can't even think of any. Dakota won't finish the main.
He never finishes any main. Yeah, from your oracle of bat phone contacts, are there any Euros that are able to go and do that race or thinking of doing that race? Do you know?
Not that I know of. I don't think anyone's making the trip.
Good. All right. Well, let's go with that. I'll share your loser so that we have harmony.
Okay. Let's see. The On-Road podcast said, who would be, or what would be your 1, 2, 3? So what would be our first, second, and third ideas on growing RC racing? It's a big topic, he knows, but I feel social media, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook are hugely utilized. That's the word.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yes, big subject, and one that's very important for everybody as well, especially us as manufacturers and distributors and a track and everything as well. All of the above, I think, what you've mentioned there. I think that we need to find ways to put the cars in front of people as well. We've covered this, I think, before on these shows, but in my early days with racing, they always used to be, the Nationals used to be often at like car shows, and we had one at a safari park, and you'd end up having really massive crowds watching the racing. So it was putting it out there in front of everybody. Perfect example of that is the MKGP for the 10th scale off-road that we've had a few times in the UK, which is in a shopping centre. So for me, it's about putting it in front of people that would probably never fall across it on Facebook and Instagram and all those other things. I think they're great mediums for people, but they're possibly not things that people that are not related to the hobby will fall over. Perhaps, or organically, perhaps they will somehow, but I doubt it. I think getting it in front of kids, like the 10th scale stuff, in front of the children, local schools and stuff, to actually show them it early on is super important. I think it appeals then to the dads and the kids, so it's a double whammy from a family point of view. Gives the dads a pass out with the mums and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's real proper grassroots stuff, and then from grassroots stuff it grows through into our premier classes. I think, putting an 8th scale nitro car in front of someone that's never seen anything before or done anything in RC is a daunting prospect, and probably I think that's a harder sell. Putting something in front of people which is easily understandable and smaller and doesn't look quite so menacing definitely gets you into the hobby, and then it's up to the clubs and stuff to push forward and show, actually no, this can get quite serious, and there's different scales, and they get even more serious and stuff as you go up the scale sometimes. And one of the things we're going to try to do at our track is we're going to have a heat of a ready to run electric car, which is not going to be in a Gamma because we don't actually make one as a ready to run, but we're working with a good company that do make a very solid, dependable ready to run class, and we're going to go out to the local communities and everybody that we can try and target locally, and say, look, come and have a go. It's you run this car, everything's the same, we're there to help out, you run them out as it is out the box, that sort of stuff. So that's what we're going to be trying to do, to bring people into it, and make it achievable for them, to get into an awesome hobby. I think you need to start at the bottom and then worry about how that filters up to the top, rather than thinking how do we get loads in at the top, because I think that's quite hard. It's like starting out in motorsport and saying, right, let's get into Formula One. It's just kind of not what happens. You go through the lower ranks and then build up to it. That's my thoughts.
Summed it up.
Marvelous.
So going off the back of that question, Craig Holmes says, what do you guys think the biggest threat to the future of our sport is? Cost. Times.
Yeah, I think cost has always got to be up there as one of the issues. I think, looking back in the heyday, talking about Tammy earlier on, they used to do their Euro series, which was a very affordable way to go into a racing series where everyone was running a very similar stuff, and that worked amazingly well. For whatever reason, that seemed to fizzle out, but I think sometimes you've got to look to the past to see what worked to get all of us involved in the first place, because sometimes we forget that, we get excited in the moment and we try to make it something that perhaps it's not. So yeah, cost is definitely one of those things. Ease of being able to actually go and use them is another thing. We've lost a few tracks. Luckily, I think we've had a few ones coming back up, ourselves included. If there's not tracks to run them at, then it stops, doesn't it? At the end of the day, we absolutely need the tracks. To have that, we need to have some model shops as well. That's obviously very hard and getting harder. The high street is such a difficult place to be. So, and then that creates another issue, because your walk-ins that do fall into the hobby by having something in the high street won't be there either, which will covers back to what we were talking about earlier on. It will impact on new people coming into the hobby too. So we'll have to be creative if that does happen. But yeah, we need to keep a handle on costs as much as possible, which is difficult, especially for us in the UK post Brexit. We've got further complications getting stuff into the country, which makes things actually inherently more expensive as well. So there's lots of hard bits that need to be looked at to keep those costs down. But what do you think, Leroy?
Yeah. A big threat is cost, and like we say, a big threat is losing hobby shops, is losing that connection people can make at the bottom end of the scale, to get them involved, because a lot of people that come into it now are people that have done it before.
Yes.
There's not that many that have never seen it before. We've seen at our track, just by having it open, people have come down from the local towns and stuff. Oh, I got my kid an RC car. I had no idea this was here. And I think we need to find a way to make that, I just bought an RC car for Christmas, and then it's come and use it, and then you can get involved.
Which is exactly what we do. Anybody that's come in, we've had a surprising amount of walk-ins that have come in and liked what they've seen and said, I've got whatever it might be, can I come and run it? The answer is absolutely yes to all of those guys. Get them down there. And it's frustrating. RC racing, I think, can be frustrating. They're quite difficult when you don't know what you're doing to keep things running. Not even, not just the nitro, but also the electric too. So with us being there all of the time, we're based there. Hopefully, we can catch our local ones. I think it's a big part of it. That
Yeah.
the other thing. The other positive to that about, we're talking about people leaving and how we keep people in it. I also think that our situation that we've all been through can potentially be a positive because fundamentally we're an outside hobby. I think people are going to be very keen to find some things to do to get out of the house because they've had basically a year of being stuck in. So if we could find a way to market to those people, I think we could see a bit of a boom coming for RC racing. I also think as well, a lot of people in lockdown have bought the cheaper style kits to get going that they may invariably find out about somewhere where they can go and run them, and then that will bring more in as well. So it could be a positive.
Yeah, exactly. We need to find a way to get them people that bought those kits to come to the track.
Yeah, definitely.
Then it starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Roberts saying he got into the hobby after seeing a one-off race in Northampton, then kept it up through local hobby stores, and he says he's going to set up a shop at our track.
Perfect route.
Johnny Roberts RC Toys.
I like it. I was just laughing because I saw Matthew Bentley says RC bad for the hairline. It definitely has been for me, less so for Leroy. So maybe a 50-50 on that one.
Where did you see that?
It was below the on-road podcasts on my little thing that I've got working for a change on the side. I see some comments coming in.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Gotcha. Big Si says, hey, Lee. I'm watching you guys and trying to explain to my son who you are, and I can't find your Wikipedia page. Keep looking.
Yeah.
You still won't find it because there isn't one.
It says Lee Martin, the awesomeness, and that's it. There's no more further amendments needed to the Wikipedia page.
Maybe I need to create one. These are just... Oh, can he create one for me? Big Si, can you make one for me?
Yes.
Let's have a look at if I put in Lee Martin, what actually comes up here. It's just going to be a footballer.
It will be in the searches because our Waitrose man will have checked regularly for updates.
There is one, but the page doesn't exist. But there's been one because it says Lee Martin, British RC car racing world champion. I mean, I was never a world champion, but I'll take it.
It doesn't matter. Just put it there anyway. It's Wikipedia. It doesn't matter. You can be anything you want. You can have a 10-foot penis on Wikipedia, and it's true.
But that's funny. I might try and make one. And Neil Craig used to have one. I wonder if he's still got it.
You have a look at that. Kev Brunson said, just mix up the colours every year. Kev, that is the worst decision that you make. That absolutely the worst decision because nobody knows it's you.
That's a good thing.
Well, yeah, true, probably. Who was that? Who did that? Johnny Roberts would appreciate that one. It was me.
Sorry, I'll get back onto the topic. Craig Holmes said, I thought you were going to say Xbox and PlayStation. I mean, that's killing a lot of things outdoors, but I think if you enjoy playing the Xbox and PlayStation, you'll probably like RC cars as well. So again, if we can make that kind of RC connection, it's a shame they don't get virtual RC on Xbox and get the kids playing it.
Yeah, that could be quite good, wouldn't it? I mean, I can remember everyone saying that about Xbox and stuff. Almost, it feels like 20 years ago. It can't be 20 years ago, but it's like that's the end of RC. And I think for a while, probably on our national series, we did see the numbers drop down. But I do think you get to a point where you think, now I actually want to do something that's real rather than virtual. And you step back outside and away you go again. It grows again.
Yeah. I think if someone actually makes a hand controller the shape of an Xbox, you might do quite well.
All the 8-year-olds out there will be whipping our arse, so we'll make sure that doesn't happen. We'll buy the patent for it, keep it off the market, do a Tesla. Scott Follington says, I think it's the initial outlay of getting started. Maybe do school open days and demonstration days, which we have spoken about and we do want to do. So yeah, definitely. Jamie Army says there was a guy taking a lot of photos at the track last year. Is there somewhere online we can see them? Yeah, you were doing that just the other day, weren't you? I wasn't. Rumble was doing it today. Well, let's get ready to rumble. I'm just trying to get Mr. Rumble online, actually. While we, he can tell us on the updates of that because I tried to do it and it wasn't happening. Okay, let me just copy and paste and see what that is. I'm sending Mark the right. I'll read the next question while you're messing about with it. Marvelous. The On-Road podcast said, what astounds me is attending the 12th Worlds GT12 at MK. And maybe it's saying the MK Buggy event, they didn't have any stalls selling plug-and-play kits to galleries, which shocked me. I mean, when
when we do the off-road ones, there are people selling. There's a BRCA offering a free go, and there's normally a couple of hobby shops. And last time we also had a display there, not selling but showcasing our products. But yeah, there was definitely options for people to buy plug and play RC stuff there.
There was indeed. We've brought in Mr. Rumble. My God, you're looking massively wide. What's going on?
Wide or white? Did you say?
Someone left a coat hanger in.
It looked like you'd left your coat hanger in your t-shirt. What's going on?
I don't know why. It's funny. It does actually. Now you say it. It's the
You want to know something great?
That's scary, isn't it?
That's a look.
How are we doing, everyone?
I can't hear him.
Merry Christmas.
Lee is I'm mute to Mr. Martin.
Oh no.
The reset's required. Easy.
Who did the reset last time?
You.
Me?
Probably me.
Okay, I'm going to try and do a reset. So you two talk for a second between yourselves, but you can't hear each other.
Rumble. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you fine.
Cool. We're back. How's that worked out?
Lee, can you hear me? Right, Lee, you jump off and reset.
This is good because it packs the show out for a minute or three.
Exactly.
Almost an hour. Hold on, I'll leave and come back.
Okay. How are you, Mr. Rumble?
Not too bad, Johnny boy. I look about 15 years older here. I don't know whether it's the lighting or the fact I've sort of gone back to a sort of day of teenage age with a few spots here. It's like being back at school.
Wow. Just say that's an unfortunate headboard wound from when you've been giving your missus the time of day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And hence my receding hairline as well. It's, too much against the board.
That's what my old man used to say.
I know.
Rubbing on the headboard at the back so it's worn out. Mr. Martin, are you with us?
Leroy, can you hear me?
I'm here. I can hear you, Mark. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
That's good. I think what we could do, we could bug shoot for Be Live, which we are a little bit because we're on their beta list now, and tell them this is how you fix audio issues. I was excited. Yeah, well, I got the app to be able to do all this from a mobile, which we're in their beta program for that, and I nearly thought we'll try it tonight, but I think that would have been a bad error. So I think maybe Leroy, you and I should do one in the week for 5-10 minutes or something, just see if it actually works live.
Yeah,
because there's going live to find out all your gremlins, but that could be quite good because we haven't seen him online tonight, but our media CJ will be able to use, or I'll be able to host it from my phone, so the video quality should be better than post 1980s, whatever we've been told it is before.
Yours actually looks quite good tonight, John. You look a bit angelic.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank
you. You see the little sort of
like a white glow going.
I know, very angelic.
If only.
So, Rumble, how's the smug mug?
How is the smug mug? Well, the mug is not very smug. I'm afraid John is the smug mugger.
Is it coming back to me? I thought it was something that you were doing.
No, I mean, I have all the images. So I've managed to transfer them from Windows to a Mac, which was like performing open heart surgery.
Fantastic.
Especially considering 10 gig of photos. The patient survived. But I'm afraid I've now got to take the patient to it's the aftercare unit, which is yourself.
Okay.
So there's still time.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool photos on there, so it's definitely going to be worth the wait.
Yeah.
I think.
I was actually just having a flick through them. Our local resident and photographer Mark Pavey does an amazing job with the photos. I had a flick through and really good. They are big images. Hence it being a bit of a struggle.
Good. So that was the update on Smug Mug. It's going to be coming soon. Apparently, it's got something to do with me, so I'll get on it. I'll add it to the list. What's the next question, Leroy?
So Matthew Bentley said, what happened to my mobile phone app? That disappeared a long time ago. We do have our Nemo app, of course.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Johnny Roberts, laughing face. Craig Homer, Losi did an RC car game on a PlayStation. They did.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't think Losi did it, but Losi's car was the main car in it. It was a double X 2-wheel drive. Blue flashing lights outside.
Buzzers are after you.
It's going past. It's good. I can get back
I
up.
saw the reflection in your eyes.
Yeah. Winston Barnett says RC Mags plugged the sport well back in the day. Yeah, RC Mags did. But to buy an RC Mag, you had to be somewhat involved, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't think it appeals to.
I used to love going down on a Saturday to see if there was a new version of whatever it was, Radio Control Car National or whatever it might have been in. Well, it was an equivalent of a Smiths, but it wasn't even called Smiths back then. I can't remember what it was now. That used to be an exciting time when it was a weekend for that.
I remember when you could like buy the magazine and you get like a piece of the car every week. Remember?
Diagostini.
Yes, I do.
So your Subaru, make your own each episode that would take 7 years to do. It'd end up costing you 80 grand or something.
Yeah. The only person I ever know to complete one is Trish, who now works for Schumacher. He completed one of them.
Oh, really? That's quite
right. He must be absolutely minted.
Because
the first episode was like 10p, and then they followed up by being 18 quid a week.
Yeah.
The other
for
person
78 million weeks.
Relatively minted out of doing those was Franco Sabatini from RC fame. He was was involved with one of the people that was doing those.
Right.
He made a lot of money out of
and Thunder Tiger,
and also being in the mafia as well. But I mean, that's
because he's dead now, isn't he? I understand
he is sadly no longer with us.
No longer with us. Sabatini sounds like something out of the mafia. He was. I have heard the tag.
It did do time for that.
So yeah, all the
as well as RC cars.
Yeah, the Thunder Tiger RC cars, Red Shock Towers, and a bit of casual trafficking.
Exactly. Everyone's a winner. Next question.
Craig Homer says, massage parlour tonight instead, Mark.
Massage. We chewed that on the way up.
That is why you shouldn't drink IPA.
Yeah, this is it. Look what
happened.
It's empty. Oh, exactly, that's the thing.
It's the Nemo edition. Look, it hides.
Good job you did, and you only bought one of those, Roy.
DLC coated can.
Yeah, it is. It is actually a very nice can.
Very nice.
Moving on from that.
Easily, please.
This is definitely a question for you, John. A stall at Goodwood Festival would do well.
It would. I had one once upon a time with my brothers. We did it was mounted on a table. I think we did throw the pictures up not that long ago. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We had some Kyosho mini Zs and stuff. So yeah, perfect example to get people into it and get some clubs. Some leaflets out for your local clubs and stuff. Perfect example.
Winston says, "Yo, rumble strip."
Is that? Well, I'm pleased there's not a comma there. Otherwise, that might be like an order.
I think there probably was supposed to be a comma there, but just
all right. A lot of wishful thinking there, Win.
Yo, rumble.
Scott Wellington says, "Rumble, Rumble, you're not going to like this, especially after the conversation we had today.
Aged and receding. I've already seen it. He's already off the team. I've put the account on stop. It's done. We
already have a half deposit in for Rumble to join us having some hair transplants.
Be terrible. Might be they've come out the wrong colour.
Yeah. RC Racer was the mag. RC Car Action. Martins, it was called. We've still got Martins in Newbury. Not just me either.
No, yeah. About to say.
Yeah, Martins. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Thunder Tiger EV4. Nemo stall at the Autosport International NEC would be good too.
Agreed, because that's always a very good show. I've been there in times gone by, and I always remember it being
been there and exhibited there before as well in previous lives with go-karts and other bits and pieces. I think my dad might have had his race car there at some point. But we've definitely been there on stalls and stuff at various times. So,
we need to do it. We need to do it, boys.
When that starts happening again in 2030, when we've got that many people in a enclosed area again.
Yeah. Well, if they did an outdoor one, it'd be better for us.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
To be fair, the RCA can be quite good at that. They've had a stall at Autosport many times in a row, I can remember, and they've had tracks and various demos on and stuff like that. So
I've done an Autosport. We did a race there, I think. But the biggest problem with the MKGP, what I see, is the BRCA stand. The cars are so damn slow.
Yeah, it's not massively exciting, is it?
No, and I'm like, just okay. Who cares if they break them? Make them fast.
Yeah, definitely.
Not representative of how the hobby is, I don't think.
I mean, my kids got bored.
Yeah, I bet. I guess.
Do you remember,
if you
Rumble?
then got the event.
Remember those little things going bang, 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 bang?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you remember it at the MKGP?
KGP, yeah. I remember walking past it and thought, oh, that's that's something. I remember us having that little ready to run car that we had a few of as well, and people were having a go of that, sliding it around the shopping centre.
See, that's more fun.
Impending £1 million
Lawsuit, yes.
lawsuits against us, I'm sure. It did feel a bit worrying at the time, to be fair.
Yeah.
But that's more fun. People, because they crash it or whatever, they go away.
Yeah, people love having a crash. Yeah.
Oh, I love a crash, mate. Love a crash.
But that's the right idea. All of that sort of stuff. Get it in front of people. If you can find a way to get it in front of people that love real cars as well, I think that's always a winner, because I think there's a big crossover of that in RC. You either like cars or motorsport or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the zoo. The zoo was awesome. Dazzling Daz Warburton, if he's still watching this, will remember some very good races, no doubt, at Whipsnade and Woburn Safari Park. And that was can you imagine that now? I can't believe we used to do that. We used to rock up. They used to let us stay overnight in the safari park if you were camping or anything else like that. Literally overnight.
It's unbelievable.
Buffalo and whatever. But
I can imagine Winston Barnett scaling the tiger enclosure.
We need Chris Boots online, because I'll get it wrong, but I think it was Richmond Rogers, and he, after the park had shut and everybody had gone home and they were allowing us to be sensible, he put either his helicopter or his plane up ready control. I think it was his helicopter, and he crashed it in one of the enclosures and fetched it.
Fetched it. Nutter.
Sure, it
what
was
a nutter.
Sure.
I've heard that. I have heard that tale from Mr. Boots.
Moving on from that, we do have a very good opportunity, because we do have the Natural History of Motor Museum.
We do, absolutely, and it would be awesome to get down with those guys and see what we can come up with. And there's form there as well, because we did have a national there once too.
Yeah.
So it would be very, very cool to work with them. Definitely something that we want to reach out to as soon as we can. Really, I think.
Yeah. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Oh, look at that! Look. I interrupt. You just say that Daz has just said on the sign their best result ever at Whipsnade Safari Park was third at a national with his Mantua. And what year was that, Daz?
Incoming.
We'll find out. Sarah Campbell said maybe a stall at Carfest. So the Torch used to do a race at Carfest South.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It'd be a 2-day meeting to coincide with Carfest, and they would have a track and do a grass racing thing. That was up until like 2 years ago.
Right. Wow. Cool.
So yeah,
back with all of us.
Cool.
Oh, and just below it, Scott Follington says Torch held a meeting at Truckfest a couple of years ago, and it was good. Lots of people joined and watched. So Truckfest and Carfest, I guess.
All of these things, I think, clearly must be healthy for the hobby. I think there are people that I have spoken
anything
to.
Anything with a fest after it is clearly what we need to be doing.
Yeah,
yes.
It's clearly accessing the right, the right sort of people.
Be considered at one that begins with an F at the beginning of the fest either. I don't think that would be.
We have a lot of them.
Or festering or something.
Normally an A fun if I'm involved in it.
But I think the thing is that apart from people that absolutely know me directly and that I've chewed their ear off about it, no one would have a clue about RC racing. So if actually we were able to access those people that don't have a clue, maybe if just 1% of the people accessed actually decided to join the hobby, great, because that would probably, if 1% of people that went to Truckfest wanted to even have a go, it'd probably double the amount of people that race. So
it would. I think we've lost Leroy while he's gone to Rob Aldi, possibly.
He's might have gone to get another IPA or something.
Yeah. Yes. What are you drinking? You're not drinking anything. You don't drink. A bit of Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
Nice. Was it good for you? Did you enjoy it?
Very nice.
Did it make, what the hell? Did it make your teeth fall out?
Not yet.
They will do. It will do. Dazzling came back. He said he's no idea, but you had hair then. So I'm going to go with got to be, not that I'm saying you've been bold for a long time, but it's got to be like 91, 92. Because I think I think the first national, I think we said this again before, the first national that I went to look at was at Whipsnade, but they'd moved the track outside because it was upsetting the elephant that was giving birth. And I think that was 92 or 93.
Wow.
Oh, there's a dog back. We thought you were going to go and get another IPA. What oh, look at that.
You're making me jealous, John.
Good. Did it come with a free dog?
Yeah, he come out of the little kitchen.
Yeah, I
been down the
thought,
park bench, haven't you? That's where
I
you
thought this is a
down
new.
Good point.
So that's what Frenchies make then.
I was going to say, you almost called him a pug.
I know. I nearly get shot for that.
He's not a pug. Look at his little face. Hey, buddy.
Just reading from the next Skidmore.
I don't know where to look for cuteness, either at Rumble or the dog. They look
look at his bum.
Look, that's it. I've been trumped.
It's turned into a...
Go on. Get down. Right.
The next Skidmore said, John Chalky was just saying that we remember Harry Box got in the tiger enclosure at Whipsnade for a laugh.
Wow. There we go.
Unbelievable.
A normal thing to do for a laugh.
I mean, we've done some mad stuff, but that takes it to new levels.
Yeah, we are clearly not even on the map of mad stuff, are we?
No.
I think I nominate Rumble to go in. If there's anyone that needs to go and tame a tiger, I think Rumble could do it.
Can you imagine a tiger running up to him and him going, wait.
Yes.
Let me just explain.
Let's just talk about this for a moment. I can also hear I could hear the scream. I think we'd hear the scream for me a mile.
Agreed.
When you say eat me.
Yeah. 1 minute. Let me just. Let me rephrase this.
We've got no hope.
So here we go. Moving on. Don't do a race at Silverstone on GP day. Our racing will show up the F1. I mean, it might be more interesting.
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Matthew Bentley says, Lee, do you have a site with setups for Yokomo? Yes, called Petit RC. Go straight on there. There'll be every setup you need, basically. But other than that, just my Facebook buddy. Darren said it's never repeated since.
It's coming. You're just working up to it.
He's working. Quake joined late. Yes, Quake, you did. Very naughty.
You have missed nothing at all.
John had his stag do at Whipsnade.
Wow. Blimey.
Skidmore, that is.
Yes.
Graham Wright, we did Whipsnade, RAF Hilton, and the Motor Museum just up the road from Nemo. So RAF Hilton.
Yeah, RAF Holton, I think, but we could do RAF. RAF
it
Holton.
Says Hilton.
And the Motor. It does.
The hotel.
A phone that's changed it because I'm sure there's a conspiracy on iPhones to make you look completely illiterate these days.
Yeah.
I don't remember them being as bad for auto corrections, and then you look afterwards at what you've sent. And in some cases, it can be an icebreaker.
Incriminate you.
That's for sure. Yes, I've had some fairly.
I think the thing that my phone has done very recently is when I say "lol," which is obviously just I've got a completely blunt expression. I'm clearly not laughing out loud, but you still say "lol." It capitalizes it, so it's like I'm shouting "lol" at you now. So rather than just a little "lol," it's like a shout through your head.
I actually thought you were. I thought that was when you were very excited. You did the capital LOL.
It's my phone mugging me off big time.
Isn't it funny that when you do actually laugh out loud and something has properly tickled you, you have to write, I actually
did.
Yeah, actually lolled.
Like genuine, honest.
Oh, it's a worrying world.
Yeah.
Do it. I'll just a thing out for everyone. If you do have any more questions, send them on. Give us some content.
Just before we do that, let's go all the way back, John. There was some early questions which I don't want to ignore.
Yes.
So one, Matthew Bentley says, can you go through the car setting on a car? What they do. So if you want to elaborate on that, Matt, just give us an idea of what you want to know. Otherwise, we could be here for hours.
Yes.
And Andy B says, change servo speed or expo? Smooth circuit with open curves or tight bends? Which is better given the speed and strength of servos nowadays?
I personally don't like expo because I think it doesn't do the same. It's not linear as to what it's doing. I know that's opposite. Lots of people do like Expo to give a dead band in the middle. I prefer to do a servo speed and have it so that it's consistent across the throw, and then it still marries up to what I'm actually doing with my hand. So, and I do that on both servos. I slow the speed of the steering down, and I especially slow the speed of the throttle down so it can try and keep up with my overactive finger.
Yeah, the poor servo. Otherwise,
Exactly.
we have to do this for financial reasons. Otherwise, we'll go bankrupt from servo replacements.
Exactly. I suspect Leroy probably does none of those.
No,
no, I slow mine down depending on what track I'm on. So if the track is quite aggressive and I'm finding it hard to drive, I'll slow stuff down. So the way I do it, I don't know how you do it, John, but obviously with most things, but especially our Sanwar items, you have a forward and you have a return.
Yeah.
So I say if I slowed the forward down 20%, I don't normally go that high, but let's say it's 20%, I would slow the return down by half of that amount. Okay. So it would be -10.
Right.
That way you get nice and smooth out, but it does come back to center quite quick.
Yeah,
you don't get hanging before it comes back to center.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
So there's that one. I don't particularly like Expo. Expo's great in 12 scale, maybe touring car, where stuff's very small and it tweaks, it moves very quick side to side. You don't actually have much throw.
Yeah,
that's when Expo is great, because when I've run 12 scale, which is very limited, without Expo, they are absolute lunatics.
Don't drive. Yeah,
it seems like a bit of a band-aid doing Expo.
I tell you what,
it just makes it feel normal. It doesn't make it feel like you're running Expo.
No.
Right. Yeah,
it puts it somewhere usable, because you can't tune it out the car because they've only got X amount of.
Yeah, I mean, it literally moves like 4 mil or something. So it's so hard to get a feeling for it unless the servo helps you out.
I tell you what, though, I think the either of those, specifically for me, the speed is a very underutilized tuning aid. It can make such a difference to how your car feels. If it's loose on acceleration, if you just slow your servo down a bit, it absolutely does wonders for its drivability. It really, really does. It's one of the biggest changes I think you can make. And on the expensive handsets, you can have 2 presets. So you can have it as a click button. I used to have that, like if it started raining, for example, I'd already got it mapped to be even slower than my normal, and that used to help dramatically. Definitely something worth playing with when you can.
Yeah, it's something when I do my training days, one of the first things I do is turn people's speeds down, and they're amazed on how it actually works, especially if you look at like two-wheel drive cars on low grip conditions or high grip. If you throw it straight into a lot of lock, all it does is try and push on the front, because they act as rudders. I know Phil told us not so long ago in the F1, anything over 4 degrees of angle is considered a brake.
Yeah.
So at that point, your front is a rudder, it's not a tire anymore. So don't throw it straight into full lock. Let it get there, and then it will start to go around the corner for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we used to run on dirt
Wise
with
old
rib
fox,
tires,
Mr. Freeman.
yeah, when we used to run on dirt with rib tires, the slower you steered, the more steering you got, because the tire would work through the turn. Whereas if you just threw it over, it just threw it sideways and pushed.
Skip it, and then and that's an interesting one.
Yep.
Just another question as well that we might miss otherwise, because it is from the Nemo chat, just from Barclay, about when you've built your shiny new A319E and you fitted a nice new Hobbywing Speedo into it, where do you start in programming for setting up for a low traction track? So what John would do at this point is say, Rumble, could you set up my Speedo, but do not make it drive like a 1980s Cortina?
Exactly.
With about 18 seconds of turbo lag.
Not want a load of turbo, because that was what you were favourite doing. You'd slow that first bit down, and then you just like give me a turbo, like a
Expo in a nutshell, and it was just awful. It was.
And then after you've done that process, we then learned that you go, Leroy, could you fix this Speedo?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say,
on to the next one.
When we started doing Silverstone, it was like I'd be texting you one week when you were there on your own. It's like, it's too slow, it's this and that. And we'd get there, and I'd look at your settings and go, yeah, no shit. Change a few things, and then it'd be like, oh yeah, it's good now.
Yeah, and it was you, John. You definitely had your the specific memory I have was actually in the Chipperdrome in Germany, and it was a Tecan RX-8 Gen 2, I think, at the time. And when they weren't when they were working, it was an absolute turbo machine. But do you remember it was up the sort of like that right hand like concrete track, but that right hand straight with like gas, and then it just nothing, and then it released some amps all into the wall, didn't it?
I do remember. I also remember going out of the building on that back jump.
Yeah, on that back jump. Yeah, the kicker.
Extra super special spike once, and actually left the bloody warehouse. That was a low point of my racing career. Really.
Like, this is disappointing. But
to you look shitter than I actually am. Can you just put it back so it's normal, please?
Some of the early like ESCs though were mad bad. Like they had no feeling, and
like
it would
on-off
shoot
switch.
off when it wanted. And
Yeah.
I remember
Honestly,
I ran one at Padova, and every time I let off the throttle, it carried on for about 2 seconds.
That's exactly what I had. I'd like shorted this jump for 3 laps in a row, and then I left the building.
Okay, yeah, here we go. But to answer that question, I think for the Hobbywing stuff, of which I've had a lot of experience with the Hobbywing stuff, along with the Teekens, I guess Teeken and Hobbywing being the front runners in 8 scale speedos. For the Hobbywing stuff, just don't go too mad on any settings. Like, don't go too mad on turbo, don't go too mad on timing, don't go too mad on brakes, because I think brakes is the one that people really get themselves sort of like messed up with relative to running a nitro buggy. A big thing to make it feel smooth, in my experience, is the punch control. So punch control, torque control, whatever they call it, it's just essentially a throttle limiter. It's got no understanding of what the amps are. So it's just a throttle limit. So 1 is really low punch, 9 aggressive punch. I see a hand coming up here. Just put it at 5. So 5, I understand, is just linear. So what you do on the throttle is what the speedo does. 9, it punches it a bit for you. 1, it actually slows down your input. So put it at 5, see how you go.
I've got a question for
Yes.
Leroy. If you do the speed on your transmitter, if you do the speed on your throttle on the transmitter, does that affect the ESC as you would want it to as well?
No, it won't do anything. It's because it's not a servo. It won't do any of that. So with the punch, I agree with you somewhat to put it on 5. One thing I would say, that I was going to say it before you even mentioned punch, I was just waiting for you to finish, was that a lot of people get scared of the Parrot Scott and turn the punch down. Do not do that, please. Because all it does, it gives you this false sense of security that it's got nothing there.
Nothing. Then
and you're trying to pull it more, and then it lights up and spins. So obviously before lockdown all kicked off for the 3rd time, whatever it is, CJ was having problems with his 8 scale buggy, which is now in my shed because I said I'd run it for him, but since then we've not been able to. Just to see, because I have no idea how his car's set up or how it feels. So the first thing I did was try it on the bench, and instantly I knew it was wrong. The punch was way too low. Nothing happened until quite far up the stick, and then it would take off. So just a quick one to add: don't turn your punch down too much if you're worried about it being too powerful. And I wouldn't say go under 4.
And don't get 2018 Rumble to do it for you, because he will do exactly what Leroy's just described there.
Correct.
You'll be doing wheelies the way down.
Let's soften it off for John. It was a little bit too softened off, and I underestimated the input level. And the car went from probably 0 to about 100,000 RPM.
Yes.
And midway up a takeoff. Other sort of like things that I've seen with the Hobbywing stuff is have a little play around with drive frequency. I think that can really change about how smooth it is on a censored setup. About your low voltage cutoff, with your LiPo batteries, obviously the lower you run them down, the more you impact on the cell, or the more you wear the cell out. So if you're just practicing, don't run your batteries mega flat. But if you need to get some durability out of it, switch off your low voltage cut off. But understand that if you run your batteries flat, you run your batteries flat. But we had that with the Teeken stuff with Darren, where he was obviously a throttle masher at times, and we were running long finals, and it was a real nightmare. So we just turn off the low voltage cut off and keep on going.
Roll with it. Cool. So that's that done. There's another question before I jump back down to the bottom from Sarah Campbell. Says, question: how much difference does a high wing mount make to a low wing mount? And is it also dependent on the type of wing used?
Yes.
I mean, it's all dependent on the type of wing used, but you know.
So for me, if obviously like something like a beta wing has got a very high profile in comparison to a normal wing, and so you can end up running your wing mount lower, like for example on the 319 on that in its lowest position with a beta wing, and that will be a really nice compromise of aero and feel and rear end traction, all that sort of stuff. If you then took that wing off and put on our Gamma standard wing, that would be very, very low, and it would feel like you've got no rear traction, and you'd need to raise up that wing height on the mount to compensate for the fact the wing itself, the actual shape of it, it droops down quite a lot. For us, we're all three of us on here big fans of the beta wing. I think it's a fantastic product. It works on everybody's car. It will give you a lot of rear end traction if you're struggling for that. And so we tend to fit that and either pop some holes in the back of it or move the wing height, like you say, on the mount. But yeah, it makes a very, very big difference. The wing and wing mount position makes a crazy difference. And I think we've managed to see things like that even more having the track, because we can try all the different wings that are out there. We had some sample wings come in as well that were very similar to Kyosho's wing, for example, that we could test and see where they were at with their wing package. It makes a big difference. I think if you're struggling for rear traction, you put a beta wing on, you're going to feel like you've got more rear traction instantly out of the
And also not just the height, the where it sits on the car, forward or back.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's too far back, it can become a bit of a pendulum effect. So it feels quite nice, and then when it does let go, you can really feel it. It will whip the rear of the car around. Whereas the closer you bring that into the rear shock tower, it will have less of that effect. Within reason.
Fortunately, on the beta wing as well, for people installing it, it's obviously got a grid like most wings do, I think, but it's got a grid on the bottom of it, and for the 319 one piece and 319E wing mount, there's it's 7 across on each side. Don't actually quote me on that before reaming it. Check, because I need to refresh that. But there is a set number to do it in the line, and then it sits right above your rear shocks, and it's the right starting point for it. If you want to move it and change it, then sure, but it's the right starting point. I think the biggest thing as well is you can just put a beta wing on, fit it, and forget about it, because the durability is just not even a consideration. You see some of these cars, with their wings looking like they've sort of gone through a heat cycle on something, wobbling all over the place, and it's just not the case with the beta wing. And it's also legal for EFRA events, etc.
A droopy rear wing. I haven't seen Glazer online for a couple of weeks. I need to make sure the old boy's still kicking.
Yeah,
I know. Need Glazerini back on.
It's a good one. So RC Jers says, what's up, mate? Craig Homer, out of interest, is it possible to convert a 319 Nitro to electric like you could with a 215?
Theoretically, yes.
But we don't do a conversion kit for it. But equally, if somebody wanted to do that, if they drop us a line, we'll find a way to make that happen.
Yeah, as I say, it's the front and rear is the same, isn't it? It's just chassis and bits.
All the stuff in the middle. It's a chassis plates, motor mounts, it's battery trays, center diff mounts.
The problem is the chassis. That's the thing. It makes the conversion price really expensive because it needs a great big lump of 70-75 metal.
I think, and actually, my advice for anyone considering that would probably be to think that if you're going to use that platform for a little bit of time moving forward, obviously the front and rear clips are exactly the same. Therefore, think about having all of those spares. If you actually just bought a 319E kit,
be away.
You will definitely save yourself money. Maybe a year down the line, you'll have recouped all of the difference between just a kit price and then a conversion price, whilst then having a front and rear clip for nothing. So
I'm jelly of
and
Lee.
your Nemo track.
You're at red wine.
I'm at red wine and I'm watching you drink yours. Good.
You'll see your
Next question was that I have on our side. Excuse me. Was does everyone want to fail safe on their throttle? What do they have? We're going to have the 6mix one soon. Leroy, you answered that on our team chat, but equally brings us on to the point of 6mix, which we hopefully will have our order coming in relatively soon, which will put all of those bits and pieces into stock. And they do some quite cool little gadgets and things, don't they? That we'll do some videos and information on. But anyone that's watching or wondering what we're doing with 6mix, orders in, and we're just waiting for it to arrive.
Yep.
Pre-glued. We're saving you the hassle of having to glue your tires, so it's just taking a minute or 3 to get the pre-glueds in.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if we yes, yeah, we did. We went over the truck tires last week. I see that the trucks have been gaining a lot of momentum, lots of popularity. You know, we've had a large number of truck orders that we have no trucks for the minute, so we're working harder. Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
Also good to see that others have been posting that they're getting trucks and stuff from other manufacturers too, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, we want everyone. Yeah, whether you run for Nemo or not, we want to really pick up that truck class because it's cool, it's fun.
Let's get them all going.
Yeah.
Truck series, truck national, like with their smashing it.
Boom. When is that? That's soon, isn't it? The first truck national, if it's going to happen.
Nice red wine, John.
Jelly.
Sadly, Coke Zero.
When is the first truck national?
Soon.
Let me refer to the calendar. So we have got round 1, which is Electric National at Hearts, on the 25th of April.
Okay.
Yeah, round 1 Electric National, round 1 Hearts. Yeah, April the 25th. So that might happen. It might not happen.
I hope it does. I hope it does happen because it will probably mean that we've got our race in if it's happened, and we're beginning of April for our race. So we're still hopefully going to be having that one.
Cool.
Gone quiet. Do we have any further questions to finish it out as we've been going an hour and a half? We've probably tortured people enough. Thank you very much for staying with us this amount of time.
So Mike Hunt asked a question which we have no answer to, which is about the roof.
No further question, no further answers on that other than
Johnny Roberts says, "Get me a truck." He will compete.
Perfect. I like it.
I heard he's going to TQ round 1.
And then possibly go home if it rains.
Truck isn't a huge class over there, is it? I've always heard a lot of people don't run them until they come here to the States, and that is pretty true. It's not a huge class, but we are going to make it one.
Yeah, it's been up and down. In previously, it's been quite big. It's then been slightly declining, and hopefully, we're going to between all of us pick it back up again a little bit.
Yeah. I think in the US where I think multi-classing is just way more popular. Yeah, it's definitely the norm, and it'd be nice for that to be the norm in the UK. So yeah, we can hopefully get it in that direction.
Yes. What else, Leroy?
Pretty much it, mate. Pretty much it. Johnny Roberts is.
I've got some exciting news. I've managed to do an hour and a half without needing to go to the toilet.
You've done very well.
Yeah, well done, John.
It's not going to be an hour and 40 minutes. I can assure you of that. But an hour and a half, we've bossed it on an hour and a half.
Are we sure it just hasn't got to the point where actually you have weed? You just there may have
been a little bit of seepage, but we weren't covering that.
That's been picked up.
So one thing, next week.
Exactly.
Can I not be the only one in some team clothing? Are you all going to represent, or?
Yes.
Yeah, well, but this is one of my sponsors.
It's really difficult on flip
camera.
Very
difficult when it's reversed to get it right.
Yeah. I'm like, point to your right eye.
I think we should. Yeah, let's try all next week to have
to be corporated up.
I might even rock the wife beater version of the NemoRacing t-shirt next week.
Goodness gracious!
Someone's getting ready for summer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, the snow I drove in today is not ready for that t-shirt.
Possibly. No, definitely not. Well, marvellous. That's been an hour and a half. I think we should probably knock it on the head.
Yep. Agreed.
Thanks for watching all.
You can't do that bit. That's Leroy's bit.
No, I know. Thanks. That was just a thank you. But
Yeah,
leading
if you
on,
do it, mate, we'll be on it for the next 10 minutes.
Yes.
yeah, that's it. Right, we'll be ready till tomorrow.
Right.
I'll wet myself for sure by then.
Yes. So, thanks everyone for watching. Please give us a thumbs up. I'd love to see a few thumbs up come up before we disappear. There's been one thumbs down, so we don't need any more of them. So thank you for whoever that was. Everyone else, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure you have by now. Hit the bell icon, though. Then you won't miss the start of the show. I see a lot of you Quake and others missing the start of the show. So please hit the old bell icon. Other than that, we hope you're all staying safe. Visit the website, buy a truggy. The rest is history.
I've got one question. Why was there a bullet engine head on the top of the broadcast tonight?
I think BD went a little bit rogue on us.
I reckon so.
I actually don't know. Why was there a bullet head there?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows somewhere.
And why was it like an image of like a CAD rather than an actual picture?
I know. I know. It looked. Yeah, it looked good.
Good.
It's almost like we know something others don't.
Only for a very short period of time.
Maybe.
Check the Google. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you
Right.
next week.
Catch you soon.
Bye, guys.
Have a good